Take 3. Let's try again. Alright. Hey guys, welcome to YouTube. So for my Toasty Wallglide here, I use a couple of visual cues to get over to that side along this wall. The point of the Toasty Wallglide is basically to get from Town Square over to Toasty and clipping through the back of that dragon's head without having to run all the way around and locking the dragon. Just a quick note, if you do the out of bounds for the Dark Hollow level, you do have to do this Toasty Wallglide successfully because you won't be able to unlock Toasty without entering a vortex. And the out of bounds strat in Dark Hollow does not enter the vortex at the end. So I'm going to do like a little quick demo here just to show you what this Wallglide is, and then I'll show you where my little visual cues are in a little bit. And I once again have failed. Cut! I suck at this game. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. We finally got it, guys. That was the take. Anyway, let's go back. So, for the visual cues here, what I like to aim at when I'm doing the Toasty Wallglide is specifically this set of, like, little stripey things right here in the middle. You can kind of see it. It's like sandwiched between, like, that one that goes a little bit lower than the rest, and then that one that goes a little bit lower than the rest. It also happens there, but you want to aim at this second part right here. It's like in a set of 3. 1, 2, 3. You want to aim at the one in the middle. What that looks like from like the actual angle you do the Wallglide at, it's like over here. You'll stand here-ish, and you'll aim like right there. Camera. You'll aim like right there. This is kind of where I like have Spyro's head looking at, and then I'll glide into that. And then as soon as you glide into that wall, you want to start turning slight left. I like lightly tap my control stick to turn Spyro as he hits that wall, just so he won't flop into it. If you aim too inward, he'll flop. If you aim too outward, then he'll of course descend too low and you can't actually make that glide. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate just a little bit that first part. You want to tap left. And then you can make that if I turned in a little bit sooner, I think. But that's basically how you want to do it. You want to tap left just a little bit, little by little, at least how I do it. So you ride along the wall and you don't flop by going too far in. If you saw that, he kind of held his altitude pretty well. And for the second half, I can actually show you like the corner where it starts to turn in. You can see it. It's pretty clear. But like right there, you can like see that wall kind of like right here. It actually turns inward. So once you reach like this edge right here, you want to start turning right. If you're high enough, you'll actually land pretty well up on that hill. If you're a little bit low, you might kind of roll. And if Spyro is ever in that rolling animation, if you just hold down your jump button, your X button, he'll bounce up the hill if you could actually bounce up a bit. And honestly, that hill right there, if you land back here, you can actually land pretty low. So once you land that low, you'll most likely have to roll up the second part. I'll show you that in a bit here. But yeah, once you reach that edge of the wall, you'll have to start turning right and hugging that wall pretty closely to make it up. So let's take another attempt. Hopefully we make it this time. And turn right. Yeah, you can land pretty low here. So this is like the first point of the Wallglide. Once you land here, you're basically safe. You can probably make it unless you somehow mess up these jumps, which I do quite often. It's kind of hard to tell at this angle, but there's like a little notch in that hill up there. I'm afraid of jumping. I don't know if I'll roll off. There's like these little notches in the hill. You can kind of see one like right here where I'm standing. There's another one up there. Let me go ahead and highlight that as well. It's like right here-ish. kind of like around there. You'll see it when you like jump up, but like if you try to jump up there from my point where I landed, it's kind of low, and Spyro will most likely enter that roll state. You can just hold X and he'll bounce all the way up to that little part that I'm talking about. And even if you, or you can actually full hop, and I believe you can charge glide onto that if you're high enough. That's a much quicker way to do it, so you don't get stuck in that rolling animation, but I always get stuck in the roll. So like right here, there's like this little notch right here. You can't really tell unless you like turn the camera. It's much more visible like this. And then the last part, this is the final jump that you have to make. It's just basically that corner that's over there. Where's my preview so I can help annotate? You can see this little like lighter green part, this little dip inside this hill. You want to stand on the very right edge of that like little dip. That's where you'll land, and you should be able to stand on it as well. You can again jump, charge glide onto it. I think you can actually jump and charge onto it even. It's close enough to be able to charge onto. I typically just jump and like slow glide, because you can land also a little bit further back on that edge and still have footing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you right here how I do it typically. You glide right here. You should land right there. You should be able to land right there. I messed up. But that's basically where you want to land, is on top of that corner. So let's go ahead and just go back. See if we can do it another time. Bringing up memories. We've been running this game for quite a while. Oh, I rolled. I think that was an example of actually rolling or landing too far up the hill. If you enter that roll up there, you kind of just fall straight down. So it's possible to actually be too high up on the hill, it seems like. Okay, now that we're back up here, I'm just going to jump and like slow glide into that edge. Like right here. You can stand right here on this corner. And then basically what you want to do, you can do it a couple of ways. You can just glide into the back of the head, or you can just full hop. I think you might be able to just charge and glide buffer through the horn, but I typically take it safe. I like to jump, charge glide a little bit, and then I charge through the horn. You can clip through that horn, that side of the head, and make it with the Toasty. Like that. And you should just make it into the portal, depending on your positioning. You might go to the top, the bottom. If you ever fall, if you ever like flop off of that edge, if you mash glide, you might actually be able to save it by gliding around the back side of the head and then charging into the portal itself if you're a bit low. So if you like, I can't really demonstrate the fall, but like if you do happen to fall really, really low, you can glide to the back here and charge into the portal itself. So that is like a way to kind of save it. Oh yeah, I remember pivoting the cowboy hat. That's right. I do remember that. But anyways, that's kind of like the Toasty Wallglide here. That's how I do mine. You can definitely find ways to kind of improve the hill climb. But I find that method to be most consistent for me, where I aim at. Let's go ahead and head over to Peacekeepers. Anyways, so this next Wallglide here, this is going to be the Night Flight one. You start at the beginning of Peacekeepers, and you can actually get up to that side where Night Flight is by doing this Wallglide here. Typically, you're going to be back here, coming towards it. Let me demonstrate. Like that. Hey, Captain. Welcome. I'm demonstrating the Night Flight Wallglide really quick here. By doing this glide, you actually skip this whole cannon section. Here we do.
Zingok cha cha.
Zingok cha cha. Thank you. So you actually skip this whole section where you have to blast open this wall to climb up to Night Flight by doing this wall glide. And then, once you do all that, you do this whole section as normal, you get over to there, and you continue around Peacekeepers as you win, as intended. Basically, for the Peacekeepers Night Flight Wallglide here, it's pretty similar to the Toasty one, I think, in that there's this very edge that you want to kind of hug, and there's a little corner that you do want to avoid, because it's going to make you flop. But you turn around the side just as the Toasty Wallglide would. Let me quickly show you which edge I'm talking about. This edge right here. You don't want to hug it too close. You actually kind of want to give it some space around it, because for some reason that edge really flops you if you are too close to it. It just knocks you off course. It's crazy. I don't know if I can kind of replicate it here. Right there, that edge right there just flops you off if you're hugging it too close. You kind of want to give it some room as you're turning back. But as soon as you reach that edge, you do want to turn around and continue hugging the wall, and you should be able to make it up as normal. And for my glide, I like to start on the top of this little slope you have here. You guys can probably see it, but you can see that the ground here is a lot lower than up here. So I like to jump up here and hug the wall. That'll give me the most altitude. So when you're coming over from this cannon guy, you'll flame the two, you'll run over to these reds. You're gonna come around this side, and I like to jump around here. This is the highest point of the hill. And as I'm jumping, basically I'm just aiming at the edge of this wall. Because you again want to just hug the wall as you're going around, so I just go straight and aim for the edge of this wall. Nothing too crazy. No visual cues or anything. Just hug the edge. I should be able to make it around. Pretty simple. I think it's actually a lot simpler than the Toasty one. It's just that little corner that you want to avoid. But yeah, that's pretty much the Toasty, the Night Flight Wallglide. Hug that corner. Avoid that edge. Yo, Prince. Thanks for the follow. Avoid that edge, and you should be able to either gain some altitude or hold enough where you can charge onto that ledge. And that'll save you time of having to blast down that wall over there with the cannon.